Anytime you will be using Animation Studio to create your own custom animated scene, you are going to want to use the graphics that are within Animation Studio. The graphics can be found under this paw print here. Once you enter this section, you will have a listing of all the different scenes that are available to you. Now, there can be a pretty long listing of these scenes here, as you can see from what is on my screen. Now, within each of these scenes, basically the objects and things that you can see in these previews, these types of things are generally available as individual objects when you just simply click on them. So you can take these various objects, click on them over here in the left bar, and then they automatically appear in the scene. Then you can drag them around to place them wherever you want. You can scroll in and out with your mouse middle wheel if you have one to zoom in and out. If you don't, you can use this little slider bar up top here. You can flip objects around if you want them to be oriented in a different way, and you can even remove them completely with this toolbar here. So in order to create some kind of a scene using these graphics, you just simply mix and match these things to your own liking. Now you also have a way that you can arrange or order these icons or characters within your scene. A good example is right here. I have this person and I have this desk here. Well, what if I want to put the person behind the desk instead of in front of the desk? If this was a customer, they might be standing something like that. But if this is somebody that works at this place, they're going to be back behind it, more like this, except you're not going to be able to see their legs. Well, to make it look like this within your animated video, you can right click on any of the objects that you see or any of the characters, and you have these controls to bring them forward or backward a level, or you can bring them all the way to the front or send them all the way to the back. So in this case, this guy's currently already in the front. So if I click on either of these two, it's not going to do anything. He's going to stay right where he is. But if I want to move him back behind this desk, then I just send him backward. And he's going to drop back what should be a level. But there can be multiple objects, like in the case here, where I have this third object. So in order to get him completely back behind it, the best thing to do is just use the send back option. Unless you have perhaps a background maybe that you wouldn't want this to be buried behind. So doing something like this now, I have this person showing up back behind this counter. So now they look more like an employee of this place. So I can continue doing this same type of thing. I can even mix and match these graphics from more than one scene. So, like in that previous scene, I really only had one character icon that was available to me. And I've chosen to use him as kind of the employee. So, what if I wanted to have a customer that was going to come in? I could choose any one of the characters from any of the other scenes, and I can drop him in and make him part of this scene if I want to. So you can continue this as much as you want and mix and match all these different icons and characters from these scenes to create whatever it is you are looking to create. Now, I've mentioned this in a previous video before, but just to be sure, if you want to change when things are going to show up within your video, you use your timeline down below. For example, I'm on a 12-second scene here, and if I play this scene, there's not really anything that's happening. This guy has some animation to him. He's strumming his guitar, but other than that, there's no movement. There's nothing coming in or leaving the scene or anything like that. So, in order to change this, I can click on one of these characters, and then I have access to the timeline down here. So I can actually shorten the length of time that this person is here. So maybe I want them to enter in a few seconds into the scene, so they look like a customer coming into the store. Now initially, when I just play something like this, he's just going to pop up right there. So it doesn't look very natural. Well, if I want this to look more natural, I just add a transition to it. I can drag out this transition for as short or as long as I want to. Some of the transitions work better when they have a longer time frame. So if you set a transition and it doesn't look like it's taking effect, try increasing the length of the actual transition. That would be the orange part of your timeline. So to set the transition, I want to double click on that arrow, and then I can choose how this is going to come into my scene. So I could make it wander in from the left so it looks like this person is walking into my scene. So now instead of them just appearing, they walk into my scene and then they're just standing there strumming their guitar. You can do the same thing with your exits. You can have them leave at a certain time, and you can also make it to where there's a transition for them leaving too. So here I could make it look like this person comes into the store, and then a little while later they leave the store, and they can leave it from the other side. So playing it now, they come in, they stand there for a few seconds, and then they start to leave, and they pass in front of the counter as they go. So this gives you the basic information behind the graphics that are available to you and how you can utilize these within your animated scenes.